What is good? Let's have some fun. It's the Fundamism podcast with your host Paul J. Long and all things fun. We'll let the fun begin. Woo! What is good, everybody, and welcome to the Fundamism podcast. It's your boy, Paul Long, and we're fitting to turn up. I am overly ecstatic about today's episode. It's time to get live. It's time to represent Fundamism community. What time is it? We have just a phenomenal guest today, a dude that is an absolutely amazing athlete, but not why he's here today. He's a better human than he is an athlete, and that's exactly why I had to reach out to him and have him identify with Fundamism. So if you're new to the podcast, Fundamism, shortly put, are the fundamentals of a fun and optimistic lifestyle. So whatever you do for strength, whatever you gravitate towards to pull you out of your negative headspace, that's your Fundamism. So guys, ladies, super excited. Mr. Travis Kelce, what is good, my man?
Pole.
So, hey,
I'm gonna need you to never speak that highly of me ever again.
well, you gotta knock yourself down a peg or two, then, man. Like, you've earned a reputation.
I guess I have. I've done a few decent things around the community. I mean,
Yes.
outside of football. I don't even want to talk about football. 'Cause
I don't either.
We haven't done much in the football realm yet.
But you have.
Yeah. Either way. There's a lot further along that we could take this thing, and that's obviously the goal. But I mean, it's cool, man. It's cool being on the show. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Man, you're a legend in the community, again, for not just the work that you put in on the football field. And we're not even really going to talk about that today because there's a lot of people I'm sure that you know out there that are struggling, right? And they don't know how to get through the struggle. You know, they're dealing with depression, anxiety. They're trying to make ends meet. You know, maybe they're dealing with the passing of a loved one, whatever it may be, and they're struggling just to get by. And so Fundamism is that outlet that I believe can help anybody going through it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to start with the question that I ask every single guest. You are an individual that seems like you're just authentic. You enjoy life. You enjoy the experience of what is. So what do you do for fun, man?
Oh man, that is a great question. I feel like I wake up and I appreciate everything that comes my way. You know, I might not and that's the fun of it. You know, that's the fun of, you know, life itself. You can't really just harp on, you know, even if you plan something to do. You know, you never know how that shit's gonna end up.
That's absolutely right.
So I mean, whether or not it's the funnest time of your life, or you know something goes wrong in the middle of it and kind of ruins your day, you can't let that get to you.
Sure.
You know, so I say. What I do for fun is I live life and kind of just roll with the curves, man.
And again, one of the reasons why you're here today is because I believe that you embody what Fundamism stands for. And so when I ask you what you do for fun, I know it's just your life. So for you, it's just like an everyday deal. But for a community, for myself, for friends, family, and everybody else watching you, man, it's something to behold, right? On Instagram, you got these crazy outfits. You know, on the football field, you're doing amazing dances. And real talk, my favorite end zone celebration to date ever that I've ever witnessed is your Rick Flair walk, man. And so my question to you, before we get too far down the path, is: Are you still having a hard time keeping those gators down?
Oh man, you know it's tough, man. Once you lace some things up, man, they just want to run wild, dude. I'm telling you, man.
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Lee. I would, you know what? And this is a little awkward, and it's hard for me to say just because he's so freaking weird. Is Mankind? He's
Really?
an Ohio guy, man.
Yeah.
And the sock'em.
Yes.
Dude,
that was so weird.
It was so weird, man. But every time I had a sock, like I just wanted to freaking just shove it in my brother's mouth, man. And yeah, dude, Mankind he was a different dude, and he was always funny. Like every time he walked down the stage, I would just laugh.
Yeah. Because
of how like obese and how like silly he was, you know. So it was just, I don't know. I had a weird appreciation for him. Him and Rey Mysterio, dude. Doing all the flips and all the
coming
turns
off the top
ropes. Yeah, that
dude was
sweet,
small.
Man. Yeah.
But revisiting Mankind, I don't know if you ever saw his. You know, I don't know if it was a 30 for 30, but you know, the dude had just a crazy backstory.
Yeah.
And he went hard all the time.
All the time.
And could barely walk. And it's just crazy to see when you find somebody that takes such great pride in what they do, and you're at the pinnacle at your craft, right? And I liken you to that. Like, you're at the pinnacle of your craft. You're an all-pro tight end. And so Dale Carnegie once said that the largest room in the world is a room for improvement. So remove football. Like, what is the one thing that you would like to get better at in your life?
The one thing I would love to get better at. I'm not gonna lie, man. I didn't take school as serious as I probably should have growing up.
Yeah.
So like, just I would say just the intellect, the getting better at just like learning things around me. Just because my learning curve isn't like I don't seek knowledge as much as I would think I would want to. Like my father could sit down and watch Jeopardy and just ramble off answers nonstop. And I always looked at him like, man, I got that in my genes. Like, oh, what am I freaking doing here? I'm just sitting here clueless about everything that Alex is freaking asking.
Alicia Silverstone style.
Nice, and I think one thing I would want to do better at is just teaching myself common knowledge and just understanding the world even better than I do now.
You know what I admire amongst many other things is, I reached out to you. The reason why you're here, man. So first of all, you may not remember this, but we crossed paths at a Shadow Buddies event.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely.
I just, I gravitated towards your energy. First of all, I kind of like it. I travel a lot for work as a speaker. And so you're kind of nationally known, not just locally. And oftentimes, this is 100% real talk. People will come up to me and they'll ask me if I'm related to you.
Nice.
And
I can see it.
And so, and specifically, some folks even go farther. They say, hey, are you the bigger, better looking brother of Travis Kelce? So my question is to you: do people ever come to you and say, "Oh yeah, exactly"? So people don't ever come to you and say, "Hey, are you the uglier, smaller version of Paul Long? Like, is that your?"
No, I haven't.
That never happens.
I haven't got that one yet.
Dang.
No, I've gotten Channing Tatum once.
Ooh.
When I was real young.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't even tell. I don't have. Valanciunas. That's who I get the most.
Oh.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yes.
Do you have any idea who the heck
Center
that guy
for,
is? Center
Toronto.
for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
I get that guy all the time.
It's the beard.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I have some Lithuanian in me.
Yeah, sure.
Just by looking
That's
at
what
the
she said.
Lithuanian giant that plays for the Raptors. Well, yeah, probably am a little Lithuanian.
So we connected at the Shadow Bodies event. Followed up, I saw you again at Eric Berry's Backpack Challenge.
EB, yeah.
And my buddy John and I, we're running game out at the Royal Stadium in these cat suits.
Cat suits. Yep.
And we were up for Fans of the Year. And you, for one reason or the other, I don't know why, you decided to retweet this fan vote. And you said, holler at your boy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And you helped us win that title.
Nice.
And so I reached out and I said, thank you, man. And you sent me the most kind message. And you were like, if you ever need anything, call me. And I knew at that moment that you were just a real dude, right?
Yeah.
And so I met you at Shadow Buddies. Obviously saw you at EB's. Ultimately, I know you do a ton of work with Big Brothers Big Sisters of KC, and you agreed to be on this podcast today as an extension of the Fundamism book and the forward that we referenced. And specifically, a portion of all those proceeds are going to pediatric cancer research. So, dude, I'm eternally grateful for that. But my question is, what is it about kids that you feel dedicated to and feel the need to just throw your energy at them?
Oh man, and that's a great question, and I have yet to really grasp what kind of gravitates me towards the youth, man. But I think inevitably they're the future, and I can only put myself in so many people's shoes in this world, right? There's so many different backgrounds and so many different ways of life, but the way that a kid looks at a professional athlete, I can genuinely put myself in kids' shoes and see how they look at a professional athlete, because I looked at countless athletes. Larry Bird. Countless athletes. I mean, the list is, I can't even name them all. And I can relate to that. So why not try and relate to somebody and present a positive, not necessarily image, but just give them a positive way to I can't even really explain it.
You're doing it, man.
I I feel like that connection can help somebody.
It could change their
You know
lives.
what I mean?
Right?
That's what I'm saying. It can change their perspective, even if it's something as small as, football or a school.
Right.
Or letting them know that, I may not have been that good at school, but I needed school to get to where I was, to get to college, to get, you have to have a certain GPA and things like that. Like, so I needed that in my life.
Sure.
Making certain things seem a little bit more important than they may seem at that age.
Man.
So I mean, it's just a nonstop, growing process that I feel like I can relate to the youth, because I kind of have been in their shoes to where I look up at a sports star, and I still kind of look at Deion Sanders, a guy
Sure.
like that. I've idolized Deion since I was a little kid. Like, man. Straight to my feet. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, did you ever play Primetime on Genesis?
Definitely.
Will you ever press the mash the C button? See ya. Now I own you.
Listen, Deion's the ultimate, man. He's been one of my favorites since the early days. I remember I had like this little Deion Sanders action figure, man.
Yeah.
I would act like I was him on like a punt return or something like that, and I don't know. It's just taking it back to the childhood days. The way I looked at guys like him and Irvin, and even a guy named Bernie Kosar.
Never heard of him.
A lot of people don't really know him.
No, he's from the land. We know him. We know all about him.
I had his jersey when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, and I would never take that thing off.
Sure.
So the way I looked at these guys, I can relate to see how kids in the Kansas City community may look at the Chiefs. So it's just it's something where if I can put myself in somebody's shoes and I can help them out, if I can give them hope, put a smile on their face, let alone giving them anything else in life, just a smile on their face is enough for me.
Man. So, going back to that moment, so we talked about how Fundamism can help you get through a difficult time. And you're a dude, again, I told you, it just seems like you're enjoying every moment. I'm guessing, when you're referencing these children and perspective in life and the struggles that people go through and the smile that you could put on their face, I'm guessing there was a point in your life that was just like, damn, I don't know if I could get through this moment. Like, just one of the most challenging times of your whole entire life. And I know it sucks sometimes to be vulnerable, but I feel like that's the only way for folks to grow and get better
definitely.
is to go there. So what's one of the most challenging moments in your life?
Well, I recently had I was fortunate enough to have an E60 on me and my brother.
Yes.
And that was one of the coolest things ever, is that, the E60 actually saw our relationship and some of the things that I've been through in life as like interesting, so I never in my life thought that, my life would be something as like showcased as enough to be on ESPN.
Yep.
But all that aside, in the E60, it talks about when I got kicked off of my college team. I got my scholarship revoked. Now, I was always a kid that just, I was very fortunate. I was 6'5", I could run like a deer, and I had good instincts on all athletic fields. So I naturally got the nod above a lot of kids.
I get it.
So I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship, which my brother wasn't. He was the hard worker ever since, day one. He was, even though he was tall and a big dude, he had to really like work for it.
Sure.
He worked for his scholarship. To earn a scholarship at the University of Cincinnati like 2 years afterwards, and that's a story in itself. But I got the scholarship to the University of Cincinnati. I got redshirted my freshman year and just decided to just become this like party animal.
Yeah.
And I mean, it happens to a lot of kids in college. I mean, your first year away from home, you're free.
You become Rick Flair.
Yeah. You enjoy the life that you were born to live, So I kind of got, I don't want to say I got messed up in the wrong things, but what I ended up doing was I didn't focus on what I really wanted in life, and that was to be a professional athlete. Ever since I was a kid, I told my mom I'm going to be a professional athlete, and I'm going to get you this house, get you this car. Granted, my mom doesn't let me buy her anything, but back to the story, I wanted to be a professional athlete, and I didn't see my time early on in my college career as, I'm trying to become a professional athlete.
Like you're building a foundation.
Like I'm building the foundation,
Yeah.
exactly. No, I was out enjoying life.
You were turning up.
I was turning the fuck up. I was out there getting drinks Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just going into practice hammered. And it wasn't.
You'd go to practice hammered.
I'd go to practice hungover.
Okay, fair enough.
But,
all right.
I mean, technically, if somebody were to pull me over and give me a breathalyzer,
you're done.
I'm done. So and that's just, as an athlete, not the way to go. If you want to treat your body the right way,
sure,
not what you want to be doing. So, needless to say, that life caught up to me. And that's the one thing that I have noticed throughout it all, that if you're doing the wrong things, that shit will catch up to you.
Sure, absolutely.
So I've been very, very, once this did happen, I ended up getting kicked off the team for other reasons.
Sure.
Partying too much is what I like to tell everybody.
That's fair enough.
So partying too much, I ended up getting kicked off and wasn't allowed to play college sports for 365 days.
Wow.
So I missed an entire year of which I could be building a resume, getting better, taking reps and understanding the game better, things like that.
Yeah.
I had all that taken away from me because I was so negligent of what I really wanted to do or what I should be doing. And that's building that foundation to be a professional athlete.
So how'd you cope with that? Like, did it knock you down a peg?
What? Did it knock me down?
I mean, some knuckleheads aren't present.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I guess the one thing that it ruined the most, I could really care less about what people view me as, but the what it did to my family, how upset my parents were, I can't even say they were really that upset. They were just disappointed.
Sure, and that's worse, right?
And that's the worst thing ever, is to disappoint your mother, your father, that are so proud and happy and just loving and caring and will do anything for you. That killed me, and from that point on. Actually, my quick story. My barber gave me when I was in high school. My barber gave me a speech to go look at, and it's a professor from Carnegie Mellon called "The Last Speech."
Yeah.
I think it's something Parrish, but I could get you the name of it. But either way, it's he ends his speech, or he ends his last lecture. That's what it was called.
The last lecture. Yes, I'm familiar.
He ends the last lecture with. It's not how you achieve your dreams. It's not the way it's not how you achieve your dreams. It's how you lead your life. If you lead your life in the right direction, your dreams will simply come to you. And from that point on, I told myself, just live genuine, make the right decisions in terms of where you want to be in life.
Right.
That is, if you want to be a professional athlete, going out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of the week is not the way to go. Maybe after a game, celebrating after a game is completely fine, or something like that. If you want to party in that aspect, or if you want to go out, but
sure.
don't make it detrimental to what you're doing on the field. And it's just live the right way. That there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And I've never been a huge believer in religion, but I've always been someone that is very genuine, and I feel like there's always a right way and a wrong way to do things.
Absolutely.
And that I do believe in fortune. I think there's good fortune, bad fortune. I think that you can get some bad karma if you're out here doing the wrong things.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So you had mentioned genuine, and you used that term multiple times. And, I think that's one thing that a lot of people appreciate about you. This is you might get a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct, but it's you conduct. It's you though. It's you. We know who you are, what you're going to be, and you're going to enjoy every single moment. And I think that a lot of people relate to that because so many people struggle being somebody that they feel like everybody wants them to be, and that's not you. But could you identify a moment in your life where you felt like you were putting on a front and it was difficult for you to be your authentic self?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think my first couple of years in the league, although it seemed like I was myself, I feel like I was trying to portray an image that wasn't necessarily me, and it wasn't more. It was on the field. I mean, once it comes to being a competitor, I'm I'm in a zone.
Gamer.
You know, I'm all for it. But off the field, I feel like I was trying to just be someone that everyone could love. And that's good luck.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Good luck. And
Sure.
it's you know, and by doing that, you know, you start to fall away from who the real you is. And you know, I got away from a lot of friends and family that I've always been the one to answer a call. I've always been the one to answer a text. And it's just it kind of pushed me away from a lot of people that were always in my corner.
Sure.
And you know, that killed me. And one being so, I mean, a guy named Dan Giordano, who I love dearly, man, is one of my favorite teammates of all time. I missed his wedding because I was doing silly stuff that I shouldn't have even been doing.
Right.
And I was taking my focus and trying to become something that I really didn't want. The show, my TV show.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that was me. You know, I don't. Obviously, yes, in flesh, yes, that was me. That was me kissing every last one of those women. But at the same time, it wasn't genuine in who I was. I was portraying a certain image.
Sure.
Because of certain things. I mean, the team didn't want me to do it.
Right.
In my mind, I have to be this kind gentleman, this straight and narrow. I don't live too crazy life. You know, I didn't want to give the Chiefs any reason to try and ship me elsewhere.
Sure, absolutely.
Because of what I'm doing off the field.
Right.
You know, so there's that aspect. And there was the aspect of just, you know, not trying to portray an image that everyone would, you know, kind of question.
Right.
You know, and instead of just going out there and being myself, and whoever accepts me, accepts me.
Yeah. Well, I thought the show was fun. It was fun to watch you. And and specifically, I think what many enjoyed about that is getting to see your personality. Like, because that's, again, I think you're a better dude than you are a football player. And that's saying something because you're a freaking all-pro, right?
That,
but being able to see that and how you interact with others and how you run game on, you know, the bags and you know, cornhole and whatnot. And so speaking of which, when are you going to stop ducking me, man?
Yeah, no,
like,
I'm not gonna lie, I've been ducking you for a long time.
I know. Like, and also I feel like you consider yourself a hooper. And so, you know, I like to dabble. I mean, I dabble a little bit. Raindrops. And so I guess my question is, if we were to play horse, how many letters do you think I would allow myself to have before you rolled out just with feelings hurt?
5.
Oh, 5? No, man, you're overestimating me.
Dude, it would get ugly.
It would, yes. So, revisiting that time where like your lowest of low, and you got kicked off the team, and your mom, and I know that your mom's relationship and yours is very, very special to you.
Without a doubt.
What did you do? Because again, I think on a different scale, everybody could relate to that challenging moment, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody goes through that moment. Now, it looks different for them, but they go through a challenging time. And what people fail to realize is that it's going to pass. Like,
always does,
the most challenging time in your life, you've always gotten through it, right? And that's why you're here today. So what helped you get through that moment? That's what I call Fundamism. What are the things that you did to get out of that negative space?
Well, the first thing I did was I found a new routine.
Okay.
That is the biggest thing. I mean, I don't necessarily, it was never the people I was around. It was always my decision making. So that's the first thing you have to do is, you know, own it.
Yep.
Own it. Whatever it is that you're going through, own it. You know, if it isn't, even if it isn't under your control, the only power you have in this world is making a decision.
It's you.
That is it.
Yes.
There's always going to be someone stronger than you. There's always going to be someone more powerful, faster, you know, more agile in terms of athletics. But even outside of athletics in the business world, there's always going to be someone with that much more.
Yeah, smarter, tenacity,
smarter,
whatever it may be.
Whatever it is, you know, that's their characteristics. But nobody has more power than you than when you make a decision.
Spin facts out here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's right, left, up, or down. It doesn't matter what the decision is. You know, am I going to eat with my right hand today, or am I going to eat with my left? You know, just controlling those decisions.
Right.
And so my decision making was, I'm gonna get a whole new routine. I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna do something productive with my day early. And what that does is it gives you confidence, man. When I wake up early and I knock out a workout, or I wake up early and I start just reading some stuff, I watch some film, I listen to something motivational, that triggers your mind to attack the day, or at least have a positive outlook on everything that comes at you.
Yeah.
You know, so from there you can always roll with the punches. I would also say that the biggest thing I did was, outside of finding that routine, was finding something else that I loved in that routine. I started playing a little bit of summer baseball.
Really?
And what it did was it keeps you focused. What finding this other love does is it keeps you focused on what you should be doing.
Yes.
Instead of thinking about what's already happened.
That's Fundamism, man.
Right?
That's why you're here.
Exactly. So it's finding that new routine, finding something that you enjoy. And it can be something new. I mean, baseball is something I've enjoyed my entire life,
Sure.
but it can be something new.
Right.
You know, and it's I think that whole mentality of, all right, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to start by doing this different. And on top of it, you can visit the past. That's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Visiting the past and feeling how you felt at your worst moments I feel like is a very good thing.
Absolutely.
Because it keeps you on track.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It keeps your mind in going in the right directions and staying motivated to make sure that you never get to that point ever again.
Yes.
So,
man, I'm sitting over here. I'm an emotional cat. I don't know how you handle your emotions, but when I see
very passionate.
When I see something creative or artistry, or I feel like somebody's saying something that I really deeply connect with, like I'll get emotional. And I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes because everything that you're saying, I know can help somebody out there.
Definitely.
And I know that everybody out there is dealing with something. Mm-hmm. And so, I think, so you've come a long way in your career, and every year you're getting better, right? I know you've dealt with injury, you've dealt with hardships, talked through those. I think it was the great Christopher Wallace that said, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, when I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this.
Notorious.
50-inch screen, money green leather sofa, I got 2 rides, a limousine with a chauffeur. So my question to you is, you ever have those like pinch me moments still? Like what's the last pinch me moment where you saw yourself as that little kid growing up in Cleveland and never thought that you'd be where you are today?
Dude, I got slimed.
Yes! Was that, what is that? Temple?
No. It was at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
That's right. Yes.
Where kids are out here voting for certain athletes to even, 1, be recognized, but 2, to eventually come on and be a part of the show. And what I did on the show, or what I did at the awards, was it was a competition between me and Martellus Bennett to pull a bus full of kids. And whoever won got to go down the slime slide and eventually would just dive into a pool of slime. And sure enough, I pulled that bus like I had never pulled a bus before, which I haven't.
Strongman style.
Yeah, exactly. Just used my entire torso. But it was...
You actually did 1,000 bicep curls right before that, too.
I did, with kids hanging from the barbell. No, it was cool, man. I literally froze as I'm going down this. I can see the picture. I literally felt myself freeze as I'm sliding down the slime slide. And when I have all the slime on me, all I could picture was Double Dare.
Yes.
Just like, oh, I look just as stupid as all of those parents on Double Dare. Oh, this is hilarious.
And
man.
Who cares?
And who cares, man? That was the point where I was just like, man, I'm at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards getting slimed.
Sure.
And that's always been on the list.
You know what's funny about that story? So we said, and who cares? And I know that like you're under a microscope, and I was just having a conversation with Colin over here at Charlie Hustle and talking about you and really awesome dudes in the Kansas City community, Danny Duffy, and how it's got to suck sometimes to never know whether somebody truly cares about you for you, or they're just trying to get to you, or they're just trying to get something from you, right? And what's amazing to me is you don't seem like the person that really, at least outwardly, appears to guard yourself much. And so when you're telling this story, I know a lot of folks make decisions based on what they feel other people want them to be. Like, I'm sure you can imagine times in your life where you did something, not because you wanted to, but because you were fearful of what somebody else was going to think about you. Yeah. And the one thing that the cat suit deal taught me was don't worry about what people think about you because they don't think about you. Yeah, and nice. That's crazy to me because if you really boil that down, like, don't worry about what people think about you because they don't think about you. That's so truthful. Yeah. Like, you go out to a networking event, you meet somebody at a shadow buddy, whatever it may be, right? And then, we walk away and we're like, oh, damn, I should have said, or, man, I wonder what he was thinking of or, man, did she think I was cute?
Right.
And the end of the day, they're not thinking about you when you get home. Do you find that you struggle with that still today, or you're just completely past that and good with who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I've cut it all loose. I mean, it's and I've had practice. Unfortunately, so social media is the ultimate practice in terms of your self-esteem.
It's the best and the worst, man.
Social media always wins.
It is, yeah.
It is undefeated.
Just like age.
Undefeated, dude.
Right?
It will murder you at the lowest moments of your life.
Yes.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's I've had that, and unfortunately so, we're laughing about it, but social media bullying is right down that list.
It's terrible.
It sucks. It sucks, and I've been a part of the social media bullying.
Like, you've done the bullying?
No, I've literally been called out countless times. Every Sunday, every drop pass, I'm being bullied.
Sure,
so it's true. But I mean, you can laugh about it because that person is who is that person?
Who is that person?
Who is that person?
They don't matter.
I could care less about what that person says.
Exactly.
And I could care less about who reads about what that person says. And you just have to have that mindset of who cares. Like I remember I was in gym class when I was in 9th grade, and I had a senior come up and pants me. Pale ass in front of all of the girls.
It's the Lithuania in you.
It's the Lithuanian, and it was just starting to get some hair to it, which now it's very hairy.
Yes,
but it was just pale, slightly hairy ass, and everyone laughed. Yep. Everyone laughed, and I just sat there and I said, "Yeah, I got a hairy, pale ass."
Yeah.
Oh well, so be it.
That's it.
Laugh away. I can laugh with you. Actually, I think that was pretty funny. And then I just thought about ways I could get him back.
Do you think that that's a skill that others can learn, or do you think that that's just kind of in your DNA?
No, it's definitely something you can learn.
Awesome.
Without a doubt, it's something you can learn. You just have to. What it comes down to is just grasping the idea of they're doing it to get that attention because there's something going on over there.
Missing something,
right?
Yeah.
There's something going on over there. And if you ever get yourself caught in that, the bullying or the just being attacked for some silly reason or any reason, just ask them, is everything going on all right in your life?
Yes.
Reach out to them. Are you okay?
Man.
It's because it seems like this is bugging you a whole lot more than everyone else in this world, that you just want some more attention or something.
Yes.
If you need something, you just let me know. All right. So it's really just grasping that entire understanding of they're going through something. Let them do them.
Yes.
Just let that person be themselves and don't mind whatever's going on over there.
So what I appreciate about what you said is, so Fundamism, again, fundamentals of a fun and optimistic lifestyle, and all that is predicated on fun. Well, fun to a lot of folks is just a word. To me, it's an acronym. The F stands for foundation. It's everything that you are, like who you are, what makes you tick, your moral compass, your personality style, how you communicate, the wisdom and knowledge you've acquired over the year. That's you. That's like your base, right? Mm-hmm. And then the U is understanding others' perspectives. So you got the F, foundation. The U is understanding others' perspectives. And in that, I find that you have two ways to approach any situation. You could be curious about it or you could be furious about it. Yeah. And so in that situation that you just said, a lot of folks, they wear that one on the chin and they say, damn, why? Why does he hate me? Or why is he calling me out? Or whatever it may be. What you took is the curious approach rather than furious approach, and even got even more bold with it. You held up a mirror. And you said, what is it about me? What is driving this? What could I potentially be doing that's driving this outcome, right? And realizing that we're all different and everybody's going through something, and ultimately that might be what you see on the outside. could really make a world of difference in how you experience life, right? So the F foundation, the U, understand others' perspectives, and the N is next steps. So how do you showcase your strengths while mitigating your areas of opportunity? And I feel like you've kind of found that magical thread, man. Like again, there's two people that we are: the person that we present ourselves to be, and the person that we actually are at home. And I feel like you're about as authentic as they come. So a couple of questions before we wrap up. We're at Charlie Hustle, Chase and Holly's spot. Nice. Holly wanted to know, what hidden talents do you have?
Hidden talents. I don't necessarily know if any of them are hidden anymore. I could freaking eat barbecue in like 10 seconds. I don't know.
That is talent.
I don't know what's technically a talent anymore. Like everything's a talent now.
True.
You know, like tying a knot in a certain way is a talent now. You know, like.
What about your dance skills?
That's not hidden. And I don't know if it's much of a talent.
How'd
than
you get
just
that?
like carelessly
but dude, you
moving.
got rhythm.
Dude.
I mean, where did that come from? Is that something that you've always?
I was very fortunate. I grew up around a lot of culture.
Okay.
I would call it. And I'm not just speaking of African American culture. I'm speaking of all culture.
Respect.
I was in a very multicultural city.
Sure.
At about, I would say 30 to 40% is Jewish. About 50% is African American, and then you just get a just random ethnicities thrown in there. My best friend, Kumar Ferguson, is the Indian. He's
Kumar.
No, not the Kumar. Yeah,
because man,
one of them.
I'm starving for some White Castle. Real
Dude,
talk.
And as funny as it is, our best friend is named Harry.
Really?
So yes, I have two best friends named Harry and Kumar. And I don't know if we've ever been to White Castle, as ironic as that is.
Hey, you're not missing much, man.
Right? I mean, those sliders are go.
Yeah,
there we go. But he's like I said, he's Indian as well as he's African American and Irish.
Yes.
So I mean, that melting pot right there is like I like to say that's Cleveland Heights right there, and he is a true embodied he is Cleveland Heights. He bleeds it just like I do. And we're just all over the place. So I mean, you get the high class, you get the low class. So going to school was like, it was a fashion show. It was a dance off. It was a pep rally all day. As well as you got a little bit of gang fights here and there.
Sure, absolutely.
As well as you have your music side. You have girl cadets, guy cadets in the swim pool. You know, it's all over the place.
Getting it in.
And I appreciate Cleveland Heights so much now because I realized, man, it gave me an understanding of so many different lifestyles.
Sure.
So many different lifestyles that I can appreciate.
Sure.
So you'll see me hit the Ric Flair and then do the Quan, or you'll see me do the Donkey Kong punch because all we did was play Smash Brothers when I was a kid, and then go over and hit the Nene or something.
You gonna twerk next, like Tyreek?
I'm trying to save my money this year.
Okay,
I've been fined enough, dude.
So tell me a little bit about your outfits, man. Do you choose them or do they choose you? Because I follow you on the IG, and I admire what you wear. Like, again, individuality is one of your things, authenticity. Definitely. And I look at it, I'm like, damn, I feel like I'd rock that. I'd look good in that.
Nice.
And so my question to you is, how do you go about finding the outfit?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I think the outfits kind of find me.
Yeah.
I'm very particular in what I wear, but I would say I'm particular in the fact of like, oh, if I see it, that's for me, right? So I feel like that finds me. You know, there's these unbelievably gifted designers that try and present this image in their head onto people's bodies.
Yes.
You know, so I go around and I click on certain designers, certain brands that I appreciate, and certainly enough, if that shirt finds me and I'm loving it, I'm rocking it.
Yes. And rocking it well, my friend. You're a pretty dude. Anybody ever tell you that? I mean, I'm happily married with 2 kids.
Dude, I hate it when my girlfriend calls me beautiful.
Why?
It's just
Do you know how many
weird.
people would wish that their girlfriend would call them beautiful?
No,
and your girlfriend
I
is
don't.
absolutely gorgeous, mind you,
she's
and
the
is a
beautiful
fire
one. It
personality.
always comes after I call her beautiful. She's like, no, you're beautiful. I'm like, nice comeback.
No, you. Top 5 rappers of all time. Go.
Ooh, man.
You want me to help you?
No.
Okay.
Kind of, but no.
Okay, here they are. Dylon, and Dylon. Because I spit hot fire.
Fire! No, all right, I'm gonna go with no order, please, no order.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head, who comes
Sure.
the first? Jay-Z's definitely got to be up there.
Okay.
I was a huge Wayne guy in the high school in the the mid 2000s to.
Got to hold on to your receipt.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After that, I would say, who's fantastic right now? I mean, Drake is up there. I've listened to Drake
Respect
for years.
Sure. What about Pac, Biggie, any of those?
Biggie was. I mean, that's some gangster shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
true.
Like I can relate, but I can't at all.
Now, did you grew up somewhere close to Big Sean? Is that right?
Detroit's just on the other side of the lake.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate him, but I wouldn't put him up there. If anybody from Detroit's got to be Eminem.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough.
That's where I can say Eminem's up there. And then I would say it's got to be someone new age that just jumped on.
Migos.
I appreciate them. I don't know if I'd call them my top 5.
What about like J. Cole or
yeah, J. Cole
spits.
is up there. He spits. So does Kendrick. So does man. I'm missing somebody right now.
That's
I know
okay.
I'm missing. If I went on my phone, I would know I'm
Don't worry about it. If I feel like I kind of pigeonholed you to talk about rap, like what is your favorite style of music?
Dude, when I tell you I am all over the board.
Yep.
I literally just got mad at my friend for only listening to rap and hip hop, and then he proceeded to show me that rap and hip hop is music now. I looked at the billboards and I'm like, oh my gosh. There's not even country is like on like 28.
And it shouldn't be.
Unbelievable. Like how is it's just nonstop Travis Scott, Drake.
Yep.
And a whole bunch of new rappers that I have no idea who their name is. I don't even know how to pronounce their name because half of their name is an emoji.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's impressive that that's all that people listen to now. And I got mad at them. Like, dude, when's the last time you listened to any other genre?
Yes.
Outside of hip hop, and I even threw R&B in there.
Yeah.
Because secondary is always R&B.
Sure.
If you're a huge hip hop fan.
You heard that Boot Up by, I think it's
Yeah.
Ella. That's my jam right now.
Unbelievable. I'm actually upset. I got my girlfriend and her mother. I got her mother for her birthday tickets to go see Bruno Mars. And Bruno Mars.
I went and saw them, dude. That is the fire
The new
show
one?
I've ever been to. I saw them 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, 2 years. They literally just I guess Cardi B was supposed to be on the
Yep.
And now she's pregnant. She's giving birth, so she can't be on the tour anymore.
Hey,
So
she's gonna be on that
she
SI
picked up-
model deal.
Exactly, breastfeeding down the runway. That's not Cardi B. I don't know.
Oh,
what it is.
my bad.
No, but they picked up the girl that sings "Boot Up" as
Yes.
well as Sierra and like Earth, Wind, and Fire or somebody like that. I don't know.
old school.
Yeah,
I like
which
that.
I love old school.
Zapp and
huge.
Roger.
Oh man, dude, that's a Cincinnati, little Ohio.
Yes, dude, I go
man,
hard.
yeah.
I like 80s. I like old school stuff. I love me some James Brown. But to your point, like I'm very eclectic. I think music is power, man. Like
Definitely.
you could find any song that you want to drive a certain emotion. And listen to music is with a purpose specifically is one of my favorite fundamisms. So.
Yeah.
So, nickname? You got a nickname in closing?
I have so many nicknames.
What's your favorite one?
My favorite one's probably Killer Trav. I mean, they've been calling me Killer Trav. My friends, excuse me, have been calling me that since I was young. T-Rex, another one since I was young.
Sure.
The Trav Man. My parents have been calling me that since I was a little kid. I mean, the nicknames just go on. They've been calling me Zeus in fantasy football for years.
Killer Trav is fitting, and I really like that one. So, as we wrap up, man, again, the purpose of Fundamism is to get out of whatever you're going through, and it's not just to say that like you're going through a trying time, and you need that. Like you just need to gravitate more towards the things that give you strength as opposed to the things that give you down. So, what advice in closing would you have to somebody going through the struggle right now?
Man, know that world is going around, and as the dark comes, that sun's going to come right back up, and that every single day is a new day, and you can attack that as a new day. As much as you feel like you're in the same world, you can change your world and the perspective in which you live it every single day.
Man. Travis Kelce, you are a man amongst boys. From the bottom of my heart, man, I appreciate you being here today. I really admire you. I hope that you don't take that lightly because I don't say that to everybody. And the kids that you're helping as a result of this podcast and the Fundamism book through Noah's Vantage Project and pediatric cancer research, they thank you, and I personally thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Travis Kelce, if you want to learn more about the Fundamism book, hit up pauljlong.com/book for more information on that. Just went to the editor today. It's going to be so hot. It's going to be so hot. So if you want to learn more about perspective and getting your mind right and Fundamism, that's the spot. You want to learn more about Fundamism, hit up fundamism.com. As always, we appreciate you being here and tuning in. Have a fun day, and we'll hit you next time.